G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now today I've got a bit of a maintenance day. As some of you might have seen in my previous video, I purchased this little guy. This is my Bluetti Elite 200V, which allows me to have 240 volt power when I'm away off the grid. And this is good when it's charged up. I usually charge it up at home in my 240 volt power point to have it ready to go. But today I'll be installing its little friend, and this is its little friend. This is I think it's known as the Charger 1. So what this does, this will recharge my little Bluetti as I'm driving. So we're planning a trip over to WA, and a lot of the spots we'll be going to will be completely off grid, no powered sites. I still like having the comforts of the 240, the kettle, the toaster, the induction cooker, which is one of my favourites. So this little guy will charge a Bluetti as we're driving along. To install it, I've been given these cables. These cables came with the Charger 1 unit, and as you can see, the only thing that I've gone and done, this was on the advice of one of my friends who's a bit of a electrical 12 volt whiz, to go to an auto electrician's and get a 60 amp inline fuse put in very close to the end of the positive terminal where it connects to the positive side of the battery. At the other end I've also got this circuit breaker, which is another safety device, but he said to me, be careful, because if anything shorts out or if you cut this wire in between there and the battery, you're in for some strife. So he said get a fuse put in as close to the positive end, and that way all your cabling, if it ever gets pinched or cut or shorts out, this little fuse will cut off and prevent any electrical fires. Alright, so basically this is my little RM20.5 Jayco Conquest. I was originally looking at the bonnet for the battery, and I soon discovered that there wasn't one. But I've just undone these 6 screws, and this little compartment under the seat comes out, and there she is, there's your battery. So I can see here I have my negative terminal, which is the black cable going in, and my positive terminal. I've got to lift up this little clip here, and it shows my positive terminals. So you can see here I've got 2 biggish terminals and a few little ones. Because I've got the fuse already put into my cable, I'm just going to attach my positive cable to one of these big nuts here, and naturally my negative to one of the smaller ones here. Now before I do this work, I make sure that this circuit breaker is off, and there's always a bit, you can see the little red indicator there showing power's on, and it easily clicks off showing green. Red is danger, so green is good. So what I'm going to do, my negative will get attached here, and my positive will be attached, say, here. And I notice with these, it's always hard working one-handed with the camera. So there we go, that's on there. I notice with these, if I push, I've just trimmed a little bit of this rubber off here, and this is just a rough practice go. I notice there's a little side bit just here at the back of the door where I'm able to put the cable, and I'm going to just, for now, coil the cable underneath this passenger seat. Now the passenger seat, for those who've got the same model, it does have a little clip-in cover here. You just pull the clip out, and I just tilt him up, and that allows that's going to allow that cable to go there and coil around, where I'll be also attaching my Bluetti Charger 1. Now it's just going to live under there for a short time until I decide exactly where I'm going to fix this to, where I'm going to actually screw it onto. So I've just put these on finger tight, because this has got its own 60 amp fuse here. I didn't have to run it to the other side of the fuse here, so that's all hooked up. I'll just tighten these up by hand and crimp them up with the shifter. Okay, so now I've just coiled all these cable up, and it's good here because the even though these cables have got quite a thick layer of plastic over them, they've also got this extra bit of protection around them. Actually, it could look like a red belly black snake lying down under my seat, so I hope that never scares anyone. There we go, that's all coiled up under there. I've got this little section tucked right into this corner, and I've left a bit of loose wiring down here just to let it get pushed down when I put this guard back on. Oh, look at that. Back in. That's nice and neat. No one will see that there. Okay, so the cover's back on. This little guy is tucked the red-bellied black snake. She's going under the seat there. So now you wouldn't even know that I've got all that happening under there. Two big long screws for the floor section. Just have to fiddle around to line them up. I always put a little bit of Vaseline on the thread before I screw them back in. But this so far has been a successful mission. These are those funny little hex head screws too. I've only got one of these, and luckily it's the right size. Okay, so it's a bit cramped, but I'm back in the van now. Here is the other end of those cables, and you see there's some quite thick exposed wires there. I have got the circuit breaker clicked off, so it's completely safe. Yeah, so these larger wires naturally go into the larger holes, the incoming side, just there, and these much smaller diameter wires go in on the other side in these much smaller connection points. Also in the pack came these little connection points, and in particular a little Allen key. And that little Allen key is the guy that you lift this little flap up here, and he opens and shuts these screws, the up and down screws on either side of the Charger one. Just double checking, I've got the black into the negative input and the red into the positive input. They're the two larger cables going into two larger holes, and now I just have to put the smaller cable into these ones. Sorry about the working conditions, it's very cramped in here, and it's hard to have hold on things like this when I've got a GoPro in one hand, a screwdriver in the other, and I'm trying to feed wires in. You really need three hands. So forgive me here, but you can see the little holes here and the two much smaller cables here. There we go, I'm just crimping these wires up. There we go, he's nice and tight, and the smaller wires are in. Again, double checking, red to positive, black to negative. When I purchased this little Charger one, and I'll show you the installation in a minute, it came with all the necessary cables, and basically there's two sides to this little Charger one. On one side you've got holes for installing the thicker cables, and these ones run straight to the positive and negative terminals on the battery, and on the other side there's smaller holes with these little connections, and these are called MC4 connections. And it's funny because when you connect the Charger one to the Bluetti, this is the, I think it's called an XT60 connection, and on the other side we've got these MC4 connectors. And I wondered why it didn't just go straight to the XT60, and I thought, why didn't it go straight to the XT60 so you can plug it directly into the Bluetti? But that's when I saw the little connecting cables that Bluetti have supplied, it's actually got 2 sets of MC4s and one XT60 at the other end. And the reason for that is sorry, it's hard. I've got the camera in one hand and these in the other. So with the MC4 connectors, you can't get it wrong. You can see only one side clicks into the other, so you can't accidentally connect the positive to negative and the negative to positive. They're male and female coupling, so you can plug this end in, and at the other end it's got the MC4, and then there's these 2 leftover bits. And I finally realised that that's if you have a solar panel set up, you can run the solar panels, connect them straight to this with the MC4s out the door or out the window or through the floor, and have both set up. So when you start the car, it'll charge up using this Bluetti Charger 1. And if you're stopped on the side of the road and it's a nice sunny day, you can connect solar panels to these. I haven't got solar panels, so I just bought, instead of having cables lying around everywhere, I just bought a single set of MC4s to XT60 at the other end. As always, I'm showing you the lived-in look on our van, but I wanted to show you where I positioned my Bluetti and why I positioned it where I did. As always, this is the lived-in look. It's a bit of a lie if you don't show people the honest truth and lived-in look. So right now, I'm actually squatting down beside my kitchen sink, my kitchen sink and my little stove. I can see the Bluetti, and I like it facing this way. I've got a extension cord plugged in, and so that I don't always have to climb over people and annoy them just to use the power, what I've done is I've put a 3-metre extension cord under the lounge cushion, and he actually pokes out here, and I can actually pull that up another metre, and look where I am. I'm right on top of the sink. That's the stove, sorry, I'm right on top of the stove and the sink. And I generally put my conduction cooker or my toaster and kettle, and I do all my kitchen work here naturally. So that's yeah, nice and convenient. Yeah. Another thing that I didn't realise, and this is something for you all to watch out for, when I disconnected the battery, I didn't realise at the time, I connected all the Bluetti up the right way, and the Charger 1 had it all running. I did a little practice run cooking a few things, but when I went to go for a drive, I noticed that this message came up on my radio when I turned it on. I turned it on, and because I disconnected the power to the battery, I also disconnected the battery to the radio, and it asked for my 4-digit, I can never say this word, authentication code, which I don't have. I looked through all my manuals and all my books, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I went to Dr. Google and see what he said, and the first few lines told me about pulling out the radio and looking for some serial number on the back, and then ringing a Renault dealer, which I thought and you had to have the right tools to do that, which I haven't got. So I scrolled through my Google results, and I found another one. At first I thought it was a scam, but you had to pay $25 to this website, and for $25 I just had to type in my VIN number that I got off my rego papers. I typed it in and my email address, and within about 5 minutes up came a 4-digit code, and I thought, $25 disappeared straight away. But I thought, if this works, that'll save me a few hours of headache. Anyway, long story short, I typed in the code, and bingo, my radio was restored. So now, not only have I fixed that, but I also know my radio codes, which I've written in about 100 different spots because I know that I'll probably do it again. Yeah, and I was surprised I couldn't find it in any of my manuals or a sticker anywhere, so I had to do it the hard way. But for $25, it was money well spent, I thought. It was disappointing, but it was a quick fix. I almost forgot to add that once you've got I've just turned the motorhome on and I've got everything running, and they say that when you first install your Charger 1, to open the app on your mobile phone. Here's my Bluetti app down here. Open her up. I go to My Devices, and then my Elite 200V2 will pop up, and along with my Charger 1. Click on your Charger 1. And as I said, the motorhome, the engine is running, so you can see now that on the app I've got some power going in through the DC charger, and down here you'll see charging, and down here at the bottom you'll see charging voltage. Click on this little app here. I have agreed to the following steps. Next, and you can see I've already selected 40 volts. When I originally got this, it told me to select the model, which I'll just show you now. I went down to the where's my model, the V200, and you can see here it's on 56 volts. And I've been advised by a few mates who are electrical whizzes to go to custom and then accept all those conditions and change that 56 volts, just back it off to 40 volts. Okay, and the reason for that is it just puts a little bit less strain on your alternator. I've heard this from a few different people, but that's it. And then just go back, and that's now charging at a slightly lower rate, which means it will take a little longer, but you know that you're not going to you're at less risk of burning out your alternator. Yeah. As I said, this app's good. It shows you what's happening. So I've got 315, it sort of varies a bit, around 400 watts, and I'm at 99%, and this is also being shown on the unit itself. Yeah, and that's why the app's good. If you're not in direct view of your power station, you can just open the app and see what's happening, and you can turn your AC and DC on from the app. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so if anyone has any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, liking and sharing with others. Yes, as I said, any questions, leave in the comment section and I'll get back to you when I can. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoy my little videos. I try and help people and answer any comments or any questions that come through as soon as I can. Alright, stay safe everyone, and I'll see you out on the road. Bye bye.